Grendel Studios presents the More Better Narrative podcast. This is episode 91 with BJ McMurtry, Mike Armine, and Jesse Annell.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Sunkissed.
I'm drinking tea. I don't have Sunkissed.
I do.
Can I get some tea?
No.
You just got a cherry
I
coke.
don't have some tea.
This is my homebrew.
You got
Oh,
your
shit.
Homebrew.
Homebrew tea.
Hombre.
I'm gonna start doing sun tea.
Sun tea? Isn't that a... Is that a Texan thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Really? Is it sweet?
Well, I don't put any sugar in it because I'm starting to grow mint. So when I
nice.
put it out to brew, I put a couple of mint leaves in it.
Oh, cool.
That brew in it all day, and so by the
See,
time
this is very, very lightly sweetened. If that, this has a
so
little.
I'm
bit
I'm gonna put out like 2 things a day. I'm gonna get like four jars to do it in, and I'll do 2 a day. And that way I can cut down on my sugar.
You just let it cook in the sun?
Yeah, you let it brew in the sun all day.
Wow, with mint in it?
With mint in it, and then when you come home, you have like naturally sweetened tea.
You're fucking Martha Stewart.
No, that's what my mom used to do.
No, that's awesome.
That's
Have you
what
been
my
to jail too, like Martha Stewart?
Did you come out richer?
No,
She
I did
did.
not come out richer.
She went to jail and came out
We
with
need
more
to
money.
talk. What,
Really? Why was that?
Something,
publicity?
She got way more publicity, and then afterwards, her magazine sales went up, and there were those people that were like, diehard Martha Stewart fans that were like, she can't go to jail, so she came out richer.
What did she go
and
to
then
jail for again?
She got out and
Tax
had like
evasion?
a TV show. Yeah, it was like her tax evasion.
We have a couple of movies we need to talk about, but above and beyond that, there was an incident that happened when me and Mike went to
Oh my
see
God.
the XMen that
Oh, I need to
happened
hear
on
this.
the way out of the movie.
This
That
was-
literally had me falling on the floor laughing.
He could barely drive his car.
Let's hear it.
We're walking out of the. I'm gonna let Mike tell it.
All right, we're walking out of X-Men, right? And we're raving about how good it is. And we walk past the promo bill for Annie, right? It's a red poster with white writing. It says Annie and a little on the
Well, no,
bottom.
it's
Annie,
Annie,
like the little
corner.
redhead
Well,
kid?
yeah.
one?
What it says hard.
What movie theater did you go to?
King of Prussia.
Oh.
And
I
it
didn't
said
see-
Hard Knock Life.
Which is
Annie.
the song. And in the lower right hand corner, there's a silhouette, but it's in white, right? So white silhouette because there's a red and white poster. So this dude is like, Jesse's like,
Without missing a beat.
without missing a beat, he's like, I bet you it's an all-black cast. And I look at him, as I usually do when he makes off-color remarks like that, and I go, really, dude? Like, what the fuck is your problem? He's like, dude, Google it. I bet you $1 million it's an all-black. I was like, fuck you, man. That's not even cool that you said that. I'm trying to, like, uphold my, like, PC. Like, why do you even have thoughts like
And then
that?
I said, why would they remake that movie
And-
unless it was an all-black
And
cast?
I'm thinking in my mind, like, does it even matter? And so we get in his car, and I refuse to Google it, but he Googles it, and lo and behold, he was right.
What?
Now, I don't care that they made it in all. They could have made it a mixed racial. They could have put like purple people in there. I don't give a shit. It's the fact of the matter that this dude made an off-color joke. I got all bent out of shape about it, and he was actually in the end correct.
America.
I'm a fucking prophet.
He was a
America.
fucking prophet. So it was amazing. That was amazing. That was we got a good laugh.
That's what they
out of
did
that.
with Death at a Funeral.
Yeah. And that's exactly what, if I could have remembered the name of that movie, I would have, and that,
They did with Death at a Funeral. They took. It's a British movie. Have you ever seen it?
it's
No.
fucking amazing.
It's a hilarious British movie, and they still used Peter Dinklage as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of Peter Dinklage,
Yeah.
I liked him in the name.
How good an actor is he? That,
Spoiler alerts for this episode. We're going to be talking about
Massive.
Godzilla and X-Men. So go watch those now. We'll wait.
And we're back.
So yeah, do we want to tackle X-Men or
I think we should tackle Godzilla first
Godzilla first?
because it sucked.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
What?
I did not like it.
What?
I did not like it.
That was... That
I
movie
liked
was
it.
epic.
No.
I saw it twice.
Look, here's my problem with the movie. Where Godzilla was either getting beaten or beating.
You're with the Japanese. You're saying he's too fat, right?
Well, he does have cankles.
That's fucking hilarious.
But
he did have cankles.
He did have cankles.
Well, I think they were probably modeling him after.
He also sat at the bottom of the ocean for what, like hundreds of years?
That doesn't
not
take away
hundreds,
from
but
the fact that
50
there
years.
needed to be more giant monster fighting and less "Where's my girlfriend?" stuff.
No. See,
the wife and the kid needed to die at the end of that movie for me to walk out of there going, "Fuck yeah!"
No. Okay, one, Godzilla turned out to be the hero.
Which
Awesome.
I had a problem with.
I'm really
Second-
not in the out group here.
Second, the first time I saw it, I was bugged out by the fact that, like, you would see, like, a swing, and then, like, a door would close, or they'd cut away. I'd be like, I want to see the fight!
Yeah.
But that end battle more than made up. That
Where he
tail
rips the
swipe,
yeah.
the tail swipe, the entire theater was roaring and clapping when he burned the face
Yeah.
off of that
Well, and
second
the
one.
other thing too, they might not have had the budget to show to actually do all those fights. And,
Then don't make it.
Well, but I thought that they did a really. I enjoyed it.
If they had opened on those monsters fighting and it was 2 hours of those monsters fighting and smashing over buildings, I would have walked out of there amazed.
I can't wait because they are doing a sequel, and I can't wait for them to do a more realistic, because this is what it is. It's a unironic, more realistic, grittier version of Godzilla, which this movie was. And I can't wait for them to do that with Mecha Godzilla. For them to unironically go, well, the only recourse we have is they build a massive machine.
You know what? I saw it on Friday opening night with Rob, Mark, and
There was some other asshole there.
Rob, Mark, and Armine, and I saw it again with my friend Scott, who was supposed to come with us on Friday, and ended up not. So I went again with him on Monday. And after we came back here, and I turned on the television, and the first thing I turned on, what is it?
Mechagodzilla. Fucking best
Godzilla
movie
vs.
ever.
Mechagodzilla.
Wow.
So good.
No, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know what people were expecting out of it. I loved it.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting that dude's love life to come to a
I
crippling
did expect
end.
Bryan Cranston to live a little bit longer.
That did kind of piss me off. Like, why? What
Like
did
I saw him when that beam collapses, when that thing falls down, and he's like, "Dad, no!" and he runs over, and then you see him in like the thing, and it's like, okay, they're taking him to the hospital. He's gonna be all right. Walter White will live, and then all of a sudden, and I'm like,
Yeah.
the one problem I had, and
now we're in the hands of Kick-Ass for the rest of the movie.
The one problem I have, and this isn't just a thing with Godzilla, like one of the things I really liked about the trailer was a scene in the trailer that was not in the movie.
Really?
Oh yeah, the scene when the general's giving the pep speech before they jump out of the plane.
Oh yeah.
That scene wasn't in the movie, and I'm like, why? That's like you have to have that. That's like an important scene, and if you're not going to have it in the movie, don't put it in the fucking preview.
They did have a dude reading the Bible though.
Well, you know. I'm agnostic.
But did you notice what that Bible had?
What?
It had a zipper cover with camouflage on the back of it. That's what he was holding.
Of course it did.
He was holding a camouflage, waterproof, zippable bag for his Bible.
Can't see God in the bush.
And moving on to the X-Men.
X-Men!
Fucking awesome.
I loved it.
I liked it a lot. I did not like it as much.
I just want to say one thing. I don't know if anybody else felt this way, but I giggled inside when I saw Storm get stabbed and thrown off the side of the cliff.
Yeah, Halle Berry's a horrible actress.
But she has nice boobies.
Yes, she does.
I tell you what, though, those fight scenes were amazingly
Yeah.
choreographed with the way they worked in the powers.
Yeah.
It was on
What did they call her? Blink? The one that could open up the
Yeah.
portals?
Dude, it was awesome.
That's
and then
one of my
eventually,
favorite.
when she finally died, like near the end, before everything reset, all three stabs at once
Yeah.
into her. Oh.
It was rough. But I
They
thought
got
it was really...
brutal. Like, they showed some brutal shit how they died. They ripped apart Colossus.
Yeah.
Ripped him in half.
apart.
The worst one though is what they did to Warbird.
Which one? Oh,
He was
the guy
Indian,
with the...
Yeah, he was the Indian guy. When they had the monster...
Oh, he had him holding his... And the beam was going, and he just slowly lowers his head into the beam.
Yeah.
But you know what I was really impressed with is the design of the Sentinels.
Yeah.
They were really, like... I thought they were really cool looking.
Well, the other thing was, when in the... Back in time in the 70s... When the first version 1 of the Sentinels, when Peter Dinklage, like Trask says, and they will have the flight capabilities of a Harrier jet. I liked how, even though you already saw what they looked like in the future, how they developed them, the simple description he gives, and then you see the giant engine, like that moves around like a Harrier jet in their things.
I really liked I don't think that the first 2 X-Men hold up as well as people say they do.
I'm excited that all this time travel stuff completely null and voids everything that happened in the horrible third X-Men.
Well, yeah, and I think that needs to be said. And then the third movie is obviously horrible. And then the origin movie, the Wolverine origin movie, all that, which is fucking atrocious. And I like the fact that they kind of artfully just kind of literally erased that shit. Like, you don't... But I really enjoyed... and I thought it was an awesome movie. X-Men First Class, I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
and that's which I like as much, if not more, than this X-Men movie we're talking about. I really like First Class. I was a little pissed off that they blatantly talked about them killing, like literally dissecting. But I guess in the augmented future, that they ultimately achieved, I guess. That maybe null and voided that those characters getting killed, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, or maybe not, because that actually happened before. No, that wouldn't have happened. They'd still be dead.
Which one?
Like they talked about Banshee and Azrael and all those. And,
that were dissected and.
Yeah, but which I kind of had a problem because Banshee's like a quintessential X-Men character. Mm-hmm. But I'm nerding out here. But,
I think they're used to it. Just.
But no, I really liked the movie. I thought it was really good.
I really like that scene where Wolverine walks in, and he's like, "I'm teaching a history class." Professor Xavier's like, "Welcome back." Like it was that fine. Like you've been waiting all this time.
Welcome back. I think we need a little catching up.
The only thing about that though that's moderately disturbing is the Wolverine that went to bed that night was literally killed by the Wolverine that woke up the next morning.
Yeah.
Like the guy that lived that entire,
the guy that got pulled out of the lake.
Yeah.
That was like, why the hell am I in a lake? Now lived the rest of his life.
Up until that
point, and now...
Yeah, so that guy's like dead. I mean, like gone. Which they really could have fixed that with a line of dialogue. Oh, your memories will merge in the next day or two, and you'll remember this. I mean, that's literally all they had to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that was kind of disturbing. Like nobody kind of mourned the loss of the guy that just like the person that everyone got to know for the last 40 years is now gone.
Yeah.
like that's not a little like. Oh, I kind of like that dude.
Yeah. Who's this guy? Oh, you're being a bastard.
I told Wolverine yesterday to remind me about something. Now he's gone.
Yeah.
That scene where he sees Jean.
Yeah.
And Cyclops is like, "Hey."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, damn." Because for like a minute you're thinking like,
"Oh, maybe."
Nope.
You don't.
Which I like the fact too because they made the horrible mistake of like killing Cyclops in that one movie.
Yeah.
And now they just erased it. I watched a couple of reviews about it.
There was one review about the X-Men Last Stand that I loved that says, and then the greatest scene in the movie where they kill off everybody's most hated character. Oh no, most hated and boring character.
It'll be interesting to see, and it was pointed out in this. It's not one of my original thoughts, but I think it's a valid point. In the next couple of X-Men movies, which version of the X-Men are we going to see? Are we going to see the 70s version, which I actually like more? Are
they continuing?
Are the Patrick Stewart?
Which timeline are they continuing?
And did you see the scene at the end?
Yes.
Oh man. First of all, I was right about how the pyramids were built. Second of all, it's gonna be brutal.
It's obvious they put up all the sand, piled up all the sand, and then work their way down.
Yeah. Who was it?
That was Apocalypse.
He's probably like the most badass villain Marvel
I remember him
had.
from the cartoon.
He's a monster. Yeah.
I'm more of a Mr. Sinister guy, but whatever.
My favorite character in the cartoon X-Men was Morph. I loved Morph, but then they ruined him by making him bad with Mr. Sinister.
I don't know, every time Apocalypse pops up in the X-Men, it was like the X-Men got their asses handed to them. And I was like, as a kid, I would like, oh my god!
I really like that. It was really one of the last like major summer extravaganza multi-comic crossover things. But when they did the Age of Apocalypse back in the 90s, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like that was really that was like a time travel thing where somebody changed something at some point, and then they get back and all of a sudden like Apocalypse has ruled the world for a long time, and it has a couple of the storylines are depressing, like nobody wins, like it's just horrible.
What was your how did you like Cable? How they did Cable?
Which one was Cable?
Cable was the first one that they sent back.
You mean Bishop?
Bishop. Why did I? Cable's another character.
Cable and Bishop look very similar, and they there's something.
They're both time traveler.
They're both
characters.
time traveler, and aren't they related some way somehow?
No, they're from actually two different future
futures.
continuities.
All right, cool. I knew it was something.
And you
Bishop,
know who Cable's father and mother is?
I think this is what I'm thinking about.
Wolverine and Mystique.
No. Fuck, I used to know this.
He is Cyclops. And Jean Grey's son from the future.
Yeah, that's right, because he has the star in the eye. But yeah, I meant Bishop.
I thought it was bad. I thought they why even have that character if you're not actually going to use him?
Yeah.
I thought he visually kind of looked stupid. Like I didn't like. I mean, he looked. It's like, okay, we need this character because it's a time travel thing, and we need him in the future and all that. But we're literally going to do. I mean, the version of how they portrayed him was like a literal interpretation of how he looks in the comic book, which I don't think translated into like a real dude standing there wearing that stupid outfit.
That's funny because I thought they took more of a version of him where he was in the 90s comic, the 90s television show, cartoons,
which is how he looked in the comic, But I didn't think it. I mean, they should have somebody really should have made some creative decisions with that.
It translated as well as Wolverine actually wearing yellow tights in real life.
Right. Him. Yeah. Like,
well, that they made a joke in the first X-Men, didn't they? He was like, so this is what you wear? He's like, what would you prefer? Yellow tights?
Yes. But Blink is one of my... And Blink, the first time you saw Blink was actually in the Age of Apocalypse. Which I believe is the next movie they're doing. They're going to do an Age of Apocalypse. No, I don't know. It's obviously not going to be the same as the comic book. Because they kind of just did that with this movie. It would basically be a movie with the same plot. But,
let's redo the same movie, but call it something different.
And I like the fact that Peter Dinklage, is that how you say his name? I like the fact that he's a badass enough actor that they can bring him in, and he's a dwarf. To play a character that in the comic book is not a dwarf, we'll just get that.
I did have a moment where when they had the footage of when Mystique got shot in the leg by the bullet and I said it to somebody. I was like, Magneto hit her with a bullet. He's like, hit her or shot her? I was like, no, hit her. He literally forced the bullet into her leg. He hit her with the bullet. But when he was looking at the paused footage of like that day when they jumped out the window, and I love where he's like, "But her, I want her," and I'm thinking, for science.
I like the fact
because bloobs.
Wow. Wow. There's so much I can say about that, but because this is going to be on the internet, I'm going to leave
The
it
only
alone.
other time you get to say the word bloobs is when you watch Avatar.
Bathe her and bring her to me.
You guys are gross.
Somebody pointed out in a review, and I thought it was fucking hilarious, that the Mystique, when she's in her blue form, has no anus. They did the clear shot.
Like the
Coneheads. They did the clear when she's doing like the thing when she's spinning around upside down and kicking that dude. They did a clear shot of her, like nothing was there. No,
maybe she throws up pellets.
I'm hoping it's got to be something.
Well, what's or maybe it's part of her mutation that she has to turn into a real person in order to poop.
Whatever.
Or maybe whenever she shifts, she automatically
You
loses.
mean shits?
Yes. But like Beldar, but like Beldar Conehead, where that one scene he goes in the shower, it's just nothing. He's got those 2 dots.
I haven't thought about that movie.
It came up on my
years.
email. It was like Coneheads is now on Netflix, and then I immediately watched.
Why would you notify me about that? What about my viewing history has led you to notify me about this?
I'm wondering if there's a group of scientists at Netflix like sitting around like this guy. This guy
wants to
needs
see
be-
Coneheads right now.
Like, are they trying to they want to study you somehow?
Although
because
they
of
did
what
also
your choices
they
are?
did also send me an email saying that Star Trek Into Darkness was on
Yeah, I got
Netflix,
that.
and I watched it that night. So they got me fairly well pegged, and I also watch a lot of Simon Pegg stuff.
You have to admit you have to admit that you did watch the Conehead movie.
Yes,
day.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I got the email saying Coneheads is on there, and I went, "Alrighty then, we're doing this."
That's so funny.
It's good. It's good. What are your opinions on the? They haven't put out a trailer yet, but the Batman vs Superman.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
People have been saying that they might be let down, that it's going to be just
How can you even
lead up to Justice League, and it's only just a stepping stone.
Look, I think that's a little unfair to say that at this point. We haven't even seen a trailer. And I really liked the Zack Snyder's Superman movie. I thought that was awesome. I also think it needs to be said that Bryan Singer, who directed this XMen movie, directed the worst Superman movie of all time. Like, that movie was shockingly bad. Zack Snyder, on the other hand, his Superman movie was actually fucking badass. And when I heard they were doing the Batman versus Superman, I was like, oh, okay. And I'm not even that freaked out by the casting decisions of like Ben Affleck as Batman.
I forgot about that.
And Jesse Eisenberg's playing Lex Luthor. Yeah.
Jesse Eisen.
Yeah.
He's the one that was in Zombieland, right?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
They're gonna make him bald.
I don't know what they're doing with it, but they're like, he's in it, and like, look, it's either going to be horrible or it's going to be really good. Like, but I think the fact that they're
I don't know. There's a possibility it could be meh.
It could be. I don't think so. I think it's either going to be really, really,
Really
good.
bad or
I don't
really
think there's that much margin for error. But I do like the fact going into it that they are making some ballsy decisions. They're like, if that's what they're making like the upfront ballsy decisions about, like, I'm like, well, what are they going to do in this fucking movie? Like, I mean, and let me say this, that there is a lot riding on. There's a whole comic book movie franchise riding on that one movie. They cannot fuck this up. Because like right now, like, this is the problem that DC has, is they dropped the ball when Marvel did the Iron Man movie by not immediately starting their own movie continuity, and they had the Batman movies, which were really good, and I enjoyed all those movies. But they didn't build off of that, which is a horrible mistake. And now they have one movie to fix a 10-year fuck up. And there's a lot, because like if that movie fucks up, they can't do any more movies. You know what I mean? Like all the effort that would go into like the Justice League and all the spin-off movies, because what they're doing is exactly the opposite of what Marvel did, by doing the standalone movies and then compiling them into into an Avengers movie. They're starting with that movie and then expanding out. So there's a lot riding. There's a lot riding on this Batman versus Superman movie.
I think they should do a Batman versus Grendel, but they'll never do it.
Grendel?
Grendel's a great...
Batman versus Grendel?
No. You guys, if you guys would read Grendel, you would not make the Grendel comment anymore. Grendel is badass.
Every time Batman has ever fought Grendel Prime, which is like every time Grendel Prime touches Batman, you hear a bone break. Like, I mean, Batman got his ass handed to him by Grendel Prime, which is one of the most badass comic.
Warchild is fucking awesome.
This is how badass Grendel Warchild is, which is the comic book where you first see Grendel Prime. Grendel Prime is one of the the Grendel comic books are so badass.
They're one of my favorites.
That they blatantly carry lightsabers, ripping Star Wars off, and nobody has ever said a negative thing about it.
Because there's a scene in there where in the first one that I read, I'll never forget it. There's a scene where there's 3 of them, and they've all had radiation poisoning from being out past this barrier for too long, so they know they're gonna die. But they don't want to die this like a dog's death, they say. So they all 3 of them stand in a little triangle with lightsabers up to each other's throats, and they just like say a couple of words, and then the next scene you just see all the bodies on the ground with the heads have rolled,
and you're just like, what the fuck?
And they're not upset about it. They're not blinking an eye about it. It's awesome.
Well, the Grendel thing starts off with this kid, Grendel, who's known as Grendel Rose, is the first Grendel,
and it takes place in like New York City in like the 40s or 50s.
It was like the 60s.
60s, yeah.
Or maybe even the 70s, maybe even the 80s. But anyway, like he's a crime lord and like a bad guy, and then there's these series of Grendels that are, when he dies, that are all kind of related to him in one way or another. And then out of nowhere in the comic book continuity, this apocalyptic event happens. And this one guy who's known as Grendel Jupiter, Grendel Khan, he's known as Grendel Khan, reforms society based on these. He starts these clans called the Grendel clans, and all these clans have a head, and they're in kind of competition with one another, but at the same time they function as Jedis and the military. And
they don't have force powers, though.
Yeah, no, but I mean, but they're really like.
Yeah, damn it! Now he's not going to read it.
But they're really, and it's in the future, and it's kind of this kind of, and then like there are vampires and shit in it, and like Grendel Khan is known, like in the vampire community, is known as like Hitler. He committed genocide on the vampire population, which after the apocalypse, the vampires like rose up and have gone out and are using humans as blatant cattle. And then the Grendel clans like form, and he trains this whole army of like badass like samurai knights guys, like these Grendel clans, and they go out and butcher the vampires.
It's awesome.
And you're just like, what the fuck am I reading? Because it goes from being this kind of like noir fiction thing to this epic like apocalyptic wasteland like.
And then you get to Grendel Prime, and he's a robot. And the first time you meet him, he's just a hand. And he's got to go and find the different pieces of his body, and he rebuilds himself. And then he just starts fucking shit up. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's really badass. Like, it's the Grendel War Child. Go out and get the trade paperback of Grendel War Child. It's probably one of the top 5 best comic books ever written.
And it's really like the version I have is a really nice hardback with embossed gold foil or red foil. Super nice.
But there's a scene where like these dudes that are dressed like samurai. I forget what they're called. They're like this red clan of Grendels that wear these like red samurai suits. And are driving these hover bikes. Like he breaks into this fortress and steals Grendel Khan's son after Grendel Khan dies. And it's like a lone wolf and cub story, basically, where he plays this samurai guy on the run from this entire everyone on the world. And
that's another must read.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't read Lone Wolf and Cub, that's a must read from start to finish.
But like the people that are controlling the government send this squad of like samurai Grendels after him, and they have these fucking badass guns, and they're on this ridge, and Grendel Prime's down in this valley, and they start shooting at him. And this is the first time I read it, I'm like, what the fuck? He whips out this lightsaber, and then out of his gauntlet pops this. It's the same energy as the lightsaber, but it's a shield. So he starts shooting at him. He just stands there like, and just butchers these dudes. I'm just reading this. Going, this is the coolest thing. And then, like at one point, he's in Africa, and these what's the remnants of the Grendel clan in Africa are all saying, "We're not even worried about you, dude." And then Grendel Prime's like, "I'm gonna fuck all you guys up." And then they have this fucking, you're just coming out of the jungle, and this fucking like 12-foot tall gorilla walks out of the jungle with a Grendel clan thing burned into its face, and then the next scene you see is Grendel Prime driving off, and that fucking gorilla just dead. Like he
just on his little hover bike, like whatever, man.
Another day in the office.
Yeah, he's fearless. Like he's fearless. It's everything that, like this, and like Lone Wolf and Cub, they're just ready to die. It's like in Lone Wolf and Cub, there's like the road to Mephamadu. It's the road to hell, and it's just like you're at any moment. Death is inevitable, and you are willing to go to hell. Just here's how we're doing it. And in Grendel Prime, it takes that, but like puts it in this post-apocalyptic future, and it's like you can't put it down. It's that good. Like you can't put that series down. And the art, because I'm real big on like if comic book could have a good story, but if the art sucks, I get really disinterested. The art through it changes. Like the Grendel Rose stuff looks so much different than the Grendel Khan stuff, and the Grendel Khan stuff looks different than Grendel Prime. All of it is fabulous.
It's really cool. Grendel, best comic book. Matt Wagner.
Yeah.
Look it up.
And his Mage series is really good. But the Grendel stuff is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I know, we have to end on that.
I'm BJ McMurtry.
I'm Mike Carmine.
An all-black cast of this podcast will appear next week.
Wow. Wow.
We're really going to come back in blackface?
No! Cut that! Oh, my God! Oh, jeez. My sensitivity markers just started blinking.
Thank you for listening to the More Better Narrative podcast. Find us at mbnpodcast.com or on iTunes. For more information, visit us on Twitter or Facebook at mbnpodcast.com or email us at morebetternarrative@gmail.com.